Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy, Dark Rico here, who just woke the fuck up because why not? So yeah, if you guys, I just woke up, I should mention, but my voice isn't that deep because I didn't just wake up. I woke up like a couple of minutes ago and I started watching YouTube because yeah, why not? So let me begin into this what if, and let me shut the fuck up and let me kind of continue on with what I'm actually rambling on about. So this is a new what if. I might do it a one shot if I can actually get to it, or I could just do it as a part. Yeah, whatever. Pretty much this what if is the what if from yesterday that my head and my gears started turning like fucking crazy. So yeah, thank to fucking goodness I was hearing music, because every time I hear music, or sometimes my brain starts fucking turning. But not the point. Of course, this is called What If Issei Died? Well, not died. What if Issei, I wanted to call it What If Issei, versus Sukuna. Not Sukuna, no. What if Issei died and went back to DXD? Okay, it's not going to make sense most of the time, the what if. So, pretty much the title of the name, or what if... No, wait, Okay, let me try that again. What if Issei was the younger brother of Gojo Satoru? But yeah. But let me begin into what I'm actually going to make this. But yeah, let's begin into this what if so I can actually shut the fuck up and not ramble on way too fucking much and blah 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 blah. You get the point, right? So, let's begin into this what if. But we go into mostly kind of what if, well, into the what if world somewhat. What am I going on? I'm rambling on right now. But we go into, let me shut the fuck up, but yeah. So, we go into mostly Issei Hiro, who used to be known as Issei Hiro, but now he is not really known as Issei Hiro. In his old world, he was known as Issei Hiro, the strongest Red Dragon Emperor, at the same time the perverted Red Dragon Emperor, also known as the Opie Lover. But one day when he was in his old world, his own girls, the girls that he had in his harem, cheated on him, making him have a curse named Dragon's Fall, making him also die when he had this Dragon's Fall. Because when he died, mostly it's thanks to the fact that he kind of gave his right arm to the dragon, still has some dragon DNA within him. So with that happening, he had Dragon's Fall. Of course, with that, he also had evil pieces corrupted on him, killing him not instantly, but it did take a while. But of course, when he heard about his parents telling each other about the fact that mostly their own child is dying and they don't know what to do, well, mostly either just ignore his pain and just let him die, or yeah, that literally broke Issei when he heard his own parents literally thinking that just letting him die or killing him would be the best option. This is where, well, mostly Issei completely broke at that. This is where, well, his own partner, known as the Red Dragon Emperor, mostly, well, yeah, Red Dragon Emperor, also known as Dietrich, kind of heard this and was horrified. This is where, well, he tried to tell his partner not to die, but his partner gave up on life entirely. This is where, well, Issei Hiro was no longer existing to the world, because he died. This is where Dietrich had to be transferred to a new host. Dietrich was screaming in pain, crying, but of course, nothing could happen. But mostly, well, mostly, Issei was 18 at the time he died. And now it's been over, well, it's been over 6 years. And mostly from the day that Issei died, 6 years has passed. And everyone who was in original canon would be either 26, 25, or even 18. Or not 18, mostly 24. Or even what's it called, 23, but not the point. Those who actually remember Issei, two girls actually remember Issei and of course are crying. One had brownish hair and of course honey brown eyes, while the other one had pinkish hair and usually she had kind of pinkish reddish eyes somewhat. This is where they were kind of crying and saddened for mostly Issei's disappearance after his death. But yeah, because, well, he died. Of course, one of them now has, the new user of Dietrich, and the other one actually the new user of Albia. Because, well, in this one, Volley's actually a dude who actually did kind of, cheated, or not cheated, but betrayed Issei's trust and kind of cheated on, well, made Rhea cheat on him. But yeah, he really wanted a fight from Issei, like a dragon in rage and other things, but Issei was not in the mood for that and just died, but whatever. Now, of course, all the factions know about mostly Issei's death. Now, of course, some of the factions, like a yokai, really despise the double faction because they didn't do jack shit for this situation to happen. Even the, what's it called, Greek gods, mostly Egypt gods and other gods, like, really don't even like the whole devils, fallen angels, and angels. But yeah. So, of course, mostly the alliance between all of them were kind of shattered after the Pillar of the Hero kind of dying. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Odin, who was not the only one, he was just neutral with mostly the devils and angels and fallen angels. He wasn't hating them entirely because, well, he just doesn't know how to feel about them. Because mostly the Oppai lover, also known as Issei Hyodo, completely died during, well, mostly just the fact that he had evil pieces with him. And he was also having a dragon. This is where, well, everyone does know about the relationships between mostly the girls and different guys. And now, Bali was never found out if he had actually any involvement into them. Now, of course, Sanji wasn't found out because Sanji, yeah, Kiba and mostly, Kiba and, what's it called, Gasper had no found, or mostly Gasper had no trace to be found if he was in a relationship with any of the girls. So of course, mostly Gasper was innocent. Kiba was not, but of course, other than that, there was a lot of evidence with them. Of course, mostly the devils could have done something, but mostly since Sursex is a sister kun, he didn't really do anything, which made a lot of people kind of angry. But yeah, that's why some of the gods just decide to leave the whole Alliance faction. But yeah. But we go into mostly a time skip about a bluish portal, or it's kind of red, bluish at the same time, kind of appearing in Kuo, mostly up in the sky. People are confused in what it is. It looks like to be a rift, at the same time some kind of portal or something. But this is where, well, the rift or portal shatters. Mostly it shatters, and this is where what launches out was a guy with blackish spiky hair. This is where, well, he had kind of like this whole outfit like if he was some kind of martial arts master. At the same time, he had kind of black lines around his body. This is where, well, he had mostly 4 pairs of mostly eyes that were right now red. And this is where, well, he kind of smashes the ground. This is where he says, damn it. Damn it. Those damn Gojos. Why? Why every time? Even if I kill one of them, the other always shows up. This is where, well, someone appears like on top of the sky, or not even on top of the sky. Right now lands on top of a building because he can't really use Limitless, or even the fact of mostly his 6 eyes because he doesn't have them. It's a guy who kind of has lightish, kind of, well, lightish, whitish, well, mostly it's like brownish, but then lightish a little bit. This is where, well, his eyes are still goldenish brown, and this is where, well, he's angry from the fact that mostly this bastard killed his older brother. This is where, well, mostly the only person that he ever loves, the only person that ever helped him, actually kind of admit his true feelings, because mostly Issei was actually always kind of a loner ever since he was reincarnated into a different world. He never really wanted to be with anyone, never. Not friends, not making friends, not with family, and not with anyone else. But of course, his older brother was the only one to help him out, and actually figure out Issei was from a different world. This is where, well, made Issei surprised, but this is where, well, Issei didn't care too much. In his new world, he's still called Issei, but his name is Issei Gojo. But of course, his parents really wanted to call him Izana Gojo, not Issei Gojo, but mostly that's the name they came up with. Well, in his records, kind of like that, but not the point. But we go into mostly a time skip of, well, mostly back into the black hair man. The black hair man says, damn you! Damn Gojos! Why are you always in my way? Or not in my way, you damn bastards! I kill one of you and then another one comes out of nowhere. But then again, you are the weaker one out of mostly the Gojo family, so it could be easier for me to kill you. This is where the person said, with mostly a vicious grin. And this is where, well, mostly this person with kind of lightish brownish white hair kind of looks at mostly Sukuna with added care in the world, Raijuma Sukuma. This is where, well, mostly, or yeah, Raijuman Sukuna. This is where, well, Before Sukuna can even do anything, he gets grabbed from his arm really fast thanks to Issei's speed and strength. And this is where, well, because he's much faster than normal, than even if he doesn't have Limitless or the Six Eyes, because he has trained with his body. He didn't just like slack off in this world, because he still has curse energy, but his curse energy and techniques are like iffy. He doesn't know pretty much all of them, and he has trained in them, but it's so confusing to him how to use them most of the time. It is limitless, but it's not at the same time. But he doesn't care. This is where, well, he then appears right near, what's it called, Sukuna, grabbing him from the arm and just chucking his ass straight into a building. Just like, yeah, yeet. This is where, well, Sukuna widens his eyes and smashes into multiple buildings. Ba 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 ba. This is where, well, mostly multiple crashes were actually heard from the public. And I should mention, yes, the public, or mostly DXD, where all the humans know about, like, the supernatural. So, of course, most of the public were hearing these crashes, thinking it was a terrorist. At the same time, they thought it was a supernatural fighting again. But, yeah. But this is where, well, mostly a lot of people were kind of rushing to the spot and where, well, all of this was happening. The supernatural was actually called mostly the devils that actually run the territory. And also mostly just in case the factions. But, yeah. This is where, well, the angel faction showed up being what's it called, Michael. This is where Michael seems to be quite exhausted and tired, because he also doesn't want to be a leader no more. Because the reason why is he only had hope for Irina to actually kind of be one of the best, mostly human incarnation angels to ever exist. Because, yeah, until she betrayed mostly Issei. And, of course, mostly Irina didn't become a fallen thanks to a system that he created a while ago. But, of course, he's just horrified with the fact that she did something like that. Gabrielle is also an angel that's actually working to become the next leader of, well, the angels. Now, she kind of hates the fact that mostly Irina did something like that to mostly Issei Hyodo. Luckily, mostly for her, she wasn't influenced with the devils because she was mostly in heaven with Michael. Does it work? Well, we go into mostly someone else appearing, and that is none other than the fallen angels. Mostly that being Azo, and Azo was quite disappointed in the girls and what they did, even at Folly. Even if Folly didn't have any situation with it, but he found out one thing from Folly. The White Dragon Emperor named Albion somehow managed to escape his body and went to someone else. But he didn't tell Folly that because why the fuck not? He just had no energy in telling him or whatever. That's what he told Volley. Well, he would tell Volley one time, but whatever. That would be never. It's been 6 years and he really hasn't told him anything. But whatever. But that's where, well, mostly next to him is basically Barricue. And Barricue is right now kind of tired, exhausted, because he can't believe his own daughter kind of cheated on the Red Dragon Emperor, who is now considered to be dead. And of course, well, next to them actually appear mostly the not four Maos, mostly one Mao. Oh, well, mostly not one Mao, two Maos, and that being Ajuka, and also, what's it called? Well, Ajuka and, well, Seraphol. This is where, well, they appear because, well, mostly Star 6 was at a meeting important because it was with mostly Rias and mostly her new boyfriend / husband and blah, blah, blah. This is where, well, her new boyfriend / husband is just a human named Aaron, but yeah. He really has nothing special. I mean, he does have a sacred gear, but it's not really one of the top tier longitis. It's just some random sacred gear. But yeah, it's not the twice critical, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly they're kind of like looking for the battle or whatever's happening, because it seems like some devils reported that mostly they got cut up instantly. And of course, some of them got knocked out too easily also. This is where, well, mostly the angels, the fallen angels, and even devils are confused until they see a man literally appear on the ground, literally crashing. And this is where Sukuna says, "You damn bastard!" This is where, well, he kind of screams at mostly the person who's right now fighting him. And this is where, well, right now Sukuna right now says, "Domain expansion. Marauder Shrine." This is where, well, everything in front of him literally gets cut into a million pieces, which makes the, like, leaders wind their eyes, realizing that Sukuna is actually a threat. Now, of course, they don't know who exactly Sukuna is, and they don't know who exactly he's fighting. But this is where the person appears right next to mostly Sukuna, right now sending a powerful kick to the right side of the cheek of mostly Sukuna, launching him straight into a building. Pa 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 pa. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna is getting angry and rage and other things. This is where, well, for some reason, they see the person that they're fighting. He looks quite familiar for some reason. But the person seems to be 6'1". Like, he looks to be kind of the same, kind of a little bit the same height as his brother, but not entirely. Well, he is 6 feet. Most of his older brother was actually 6'1", but yeah. But this is where, well, not 6'1". Mostly his older brother was actually, well, so pretty much his, well, not eyes, mostly the older brother of his is actually 6'3", not 6'1", while him is actually Issei, the new body that he's in, is actually 6'1" feet, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly that's why the factors are a little bit confused. This person is quite tall at the same time. His hair is way lighter than mostly brown because it's kind of close to being white also. His eyes are kind of goldenish brown, and of course they're actually full of hatred in them. But yeah, other than that, this is where, well, mostly we go into right now Raijuma Sukuna right now kind of just saying, damn Gojos, I would have loved to destroy the other world, but now we're in a different world. It doesn't matter how strong you are. This is where, well, Issei right now points his finger right in front of him and says, blue star. This is where, well, mostly, not reverse, mostly he says, maximum blue, max output blue shot star. This is where, well, mostly he shoots a blue blast from his hand. And this is where it's similar to that of mostly the blue energy from mostly Limitless. That's why from mostly Gojo's ability. But of course, instead, it's a very small kind of pressure point. Well, mostly it's like a miniature ball that's similar to that of that star. It does burn stuff, but at the same time, it does push things away. Pretty far or even pull them, but whatever. But this is where, well, the blue ball right now rushes straight to Sukuna, which Sukuna had to dodge. And of course, the place that he was at exploded with so much energy that just pushed everything away. This is where, well, before he can even dodge another one, this is where this time it's a red one. This is where, well, he then calls it red shot. Red shot star, or mostly star red shot. This is where, well, a red star shot right now rushes straight towards mostly Sukuna. Sukuna, this one, he could not dodge. Because the blue one is a little bit slower than the red one, but of course, where, well, it smashes into Sukuna, launching him straight into multiple buildings. So much more faster than mostly the blue one can ever do. But this is where, well, mostly that happens. And of course, the impact was much bigger than mostly the blue one. But yeah, this is where, well, everyone watching their eyes after seeing how mostly the person with kind of goldenish, whitish hair is kind of fighting against mostly Sukuna. Or almost brownish, but not the point. This is where, well, it's not goldenish, it's kind of just brownish. This is where, well, they're kind of seeing how mostly the fight between Sukuna and this mysterious person, or they don't even know who Sukuna is. There's two mysterious people are right now fighting like crazy. Their powers and techniques are quite interesting because they're not using magic at all. Not one bit. They seem to be from a different dimension entirely. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna says, now you're dead. I'm going to rip you into 1,000,000 parts. This is where, well, Issei says you can try, but you will never do with that. This is where, well, Issei said, well, I don't care in the world. But this is where, well, he pulls out a weapon from mostly out of nowhere, mostly from his own ability. But of course, the where, well, he then kind of pulls out, well, not from his own ability. He pulls out mostly this like snail that's usually around him. That's similar to that of mostly Toji's kind of own snail or whatever. He pulls out mostly the, or not snail, the worm. But he pulls out something that's called the spear, mostly the inverted spear of heaven. But yeah, this is where, well, he pulls it out, and this is where, well, he says, get over here. This is where, well, both of them rushes at each other. And this is where, well, mostly the inverted spear should have been destroyed, but of course Issei actually was the one to actually have it, instead of Gojo managing to destroy it. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly making Sukuna wind his eyes. But this is where he gets stabbed in the neck, and this is where, well, he coughed the blood. But this is where, well, he knows that the inverted spear is not going to freaking save, well, mostly save the Gojo from actually killing him. This is where, well, Issei took out the spear out of his neck, and then this is where he tried to stab it into mostly mostly Sukuna's head, into trying to kill him. But this is where, well, before anything happens, we'll see Issei's arm was actually cut off his mostly shoulders, and this is where, well, mostly he wanted his eyes, because he noticed, well, Sukuna has his hands into his domain expansion. This is where, well, Sukuna says, Malevolent Shrine. This is where, well, mostly Issei wanted his eyes. He had no time to dodge it, and it was clearly point blank. This is where Issei was actually cut into literally 1,000,000 pieces. This is where, well, he was actually cut into half, but also his body was cut into 1,000,000 pieces also. This is where, well, Sukuna scoffs and says, You're nothing different from your older brother. You're really nothing different. This is where, well, mostly, this is where, well, we go into a, well, mostly not a time skip, mostly we go into mostly Sukuna wondering where to go now. This is where, well, he decides to cause chaos into the human world now, and decides to keep using Murderer's Shrine, or just cutting down humans. Because clearly the humans are humans and blah blah blah, in his opinion, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly the Devil's Angels of Falling just did try to step in, but they were actually instantly dealt with. Sukuna was just literally a beast, stronger than any of them. This is where, well, he was grinning like a madman. Now, of course, the where Volley did have to show up because mostly, what's it called? Mostly, Azul had to suck up his pride and actually call him, which made Volley say, "Ooh, stronger being? Really? Got it." This is where, well, other people from like the DXC group had to show up because Sukuna was causing more trouble than ever. But we go into mostly Issei right now slowly dying. He's right now in a dream world similar to that of like original Gojo Satoru, if you haven't actually read the manga. But yeah, but if you haven't, well, spoilers alert. Well, not spoilers alert because I haven't read it neither. I just got spoiled also, but I don't care. This is where, well, mostly, pretty much what happened was, Gojo was actually talking to his friends and other things, but Issei in this one was actually talking to his brother, his parents, and mostly his grandfather. Because mostly, not only Gojo was the only one to actually help him find love and other things, because, well, Issei hasn't found love, or not that much, or he wasn't that interested in that many people. He was interested in one person, but he doesn't really know if she will actually be the same, or just love him back, but he's right now kind of wondering if that will happen ever. But this is where, well, he probably thinks it's too late because he's dying, slow but surely. This is where, well, he's talking to his brother, his older brother, who's literally in his vision, right now sitting down in mostly the Gojo clan, of course, like in the chair of like a seat or couch or whatever. And of course, both Issei and Gojo are just talking. This is where Issei kind of tells his older brother that he probably won't be able to get revenge on Sukuna, that he probably won't be able to do anything. He knows that he's much more weaker than Gojo himself. Gojo, with his crystallized blue eyes, never has eyes at most of his younger brother. His younger brother is actually 24, while he's actually 28. This is where, oh, Gojo smiles gently and kind of says, "Issei, don't give up. You might say that you're weak, but you're very powerful. You were someone that was able to rival that of Toji. You know, Toji Fujigoro, the person that managed to kick the shit out of me and Geto. Geto appeared next to him and Geto says, 'Shut up.' This is where, well, mostly Gojo chuckles. This is where Issei chuckles also. Because mostly he was also friends with kind of Geto, but not much. But this is where, well, mostly Gojo chuckles and says this is where, well, he then tells mostly Issei to never give up. Because his true power might awaken one day. You might say that you're weak, but you're never weak. You're a Gojo. And we Gojos are very strong. We're literally gods created out of mostly nothing. This is where, well, mostly Issei chuckles and says, "That was the whole god complex." This is where Issei kind of tells Gojo. Gojo chuckles and says, "Come on, it's not a god complex if I'm really telling the truth." This is where, well, mostly Gojo kind of chuckles at Issei. Issei says, "What do you mean? You still don't know about your true powers, have you? You still don't know about your true curse techniques. You're not normal, Issei. You were never normal. The only reason why I treat you like a normal human, like my younger brother, is because you are my younger brother. I don't care if you're a reincarnation from a different world. I never cared. Pretty much, I saw you as my little brother, and as my little brother forever. I do not care. Mom and Dad didn't care even if you were strange somewhat. They did not care if you had not that much cursed energy when you were younger. They still loved you. Even Grandpa did tell you how much he cares about you. There's still people that care about you so much. Even that girl. This is where he puts up an image for mostly Issei's head. A girl with crystallized blue hair, longish crystallized blue hair. This is where she had crystallized blue eyes. She always usually had a very stern scoff from her face or whatever, a scowl. But sometimes she always uses this gentle smile to always kind of show Issei her affection to him. This is where, well, she also has snowy white skin. This is where, well, usually you like her a lot. Even though she's supposedly, how should I say, a little bit older than you. How many years older than you? Oh, yes, 2 years. Being she's 26. This is where, oh, Issei's face becomes red and looks away from Gojo. This is where, well, we'll see Gojo chuckle scene, mostly Issei's right now, or mostly Satoru, who's actually his real name. because that's its first name. Satoru chuckles after seeing his younger brother kind of just blush, look away, and just act like a child. But this is where, well, we'll see. Gojo says, but still, I don't want you to give up. You're not going to die. You're going to show Sukuna Ryamo your true power, or Raijimo, whatever. Your true power. Understand? You're strong, Issei. You can become that of a god. Okay? Show him what the true might of the Gojo family can do. This is where, well, mostly Issei looks up at Gojo, wondering if he will be able to do that. He has hope in one eye, then in the other eye he doesn't have much hope. But this is where, well, Gojo reassures him with a smile, a gentle smile that he has seen one time when he was actually younger, very younger. It looks familiar. It looks similar to the smile that mostly Gojo helped him out when he was actually kind of in a, well, mostly middle school. At the same time, kind of giving him a hand, and of course, kind of beating up some bullies that were high schoolers. But of course, mostly Gojo just pretty much used Limitless to kick the hell out of them. But yeah, he pretty much didn't care who exactly hurt his little brother. He will beat the shit of you. He doesn't care. This is where, well, mostly Issei right now had hope in one eye, and one eye actually kind of turned blue. Well, mostly one eye and mostly turned blue. Mostly his right eye turned blue, and of course a whitish star actually appears. It kind of looked like this. It kind of looked like this star, but instead of being kind of a blue star, it was kind of a gold star. But yeah, somewhat like that. And in the right eye, he still had, oh no, that was his right eye mostly. Yeah, right eye. Mostly in his left eye had mostly despair and other things and hatred, but also wanted revenge. This is where, well, mostly the figure changed, and instead it was his grandfather. His grandfather says, Issei, don't let the rage or despair or madness take control of you. Use that as power. Use it as mostly a way to surpass anyone, to surpass everyone that you ever know, to surpass the strong. Okay? And like I tell you, my grandson, my dear grandson, you are strong, you are powerful. You just think that everyone around you is much more stronger than you. But you're stronger than them. Just imagine your strength, and your strength shall appear. You shall be the strongest Gojo to ever live. Even if you don't have Limitless, you have something much more powerful, something much more stronger than that of the Gojo family. But that is not the point. You be the one to save everyone. Understand? This is where mostly Issei's left eye started changing also. Instead of being crystallized blue, it was kind of mostly still goldenish brown. But instead of having a kind of white star that was kind of gold a little bit, it kind of looked more like this. Wait. Into a black star. But yeah, it was completely black. And this is where, well, Issei narrowed his eyes. His hair started changing from mostly the brownish color, mostly brownish whitish color, to a completely goldenish, like literally goldenish white hair. Like it started glowing to literally goldenish white hair. This is where, well, his body's power and energy started erupting from him. Instead of having this normal kind of like color of cursed energy, like being either blue for normal cursed energy or red for reverse cursed energy, it was completely different. His right now, well, mostly normal cursed energy instead of being blue is completely black, because that was basically all the negative emotions. And reverse cursed energy was actually a white color. Instead of being, well, mostly like the negative emotions, it was positive emotions. This where, well, Issei's behind both of his eyes that had the stars had mostly this galaxy kind of color behind them. Like multiple galaxies, but not the point. It kind of looked like this. Let me show you. So it kind of looked like this. Mostly, what's it called? This person's name is Kanya or something, who had galaxy eyes, but not the point. But this is where, well, mostly Issei's eyes are similar to that. And this is where, well, all around him started becoming different. Mostly the illusions from his like older brother and his grandfather disappears. But it became black, literally like a black plane of view. But then it started becoming white light. But this is where an explosion happens, and literally stars started appearing all over him. Instead of being completely darkness, there's literally all just a bunch of stars producing so much light. This is where, well, himself is actually producing so much light from his body. This is where, well, he smiles gently and realizes that he's not just a weakling, that he believes. He's much more stronger than that. He is beyond anyone's imagination. This is completely someone's imagination that whoever wanted to ever have the similar same power as him. This is where, well, he smiles so gently because he noticed one star that was actually glowing kind of a whitish and purplish color, and another one that was kind of glowing a whitish and orangey color. he smiles so gently because those stars remind him of his grandfather and his older brother. This is where, well, he smiles, and this is where, well, he then says, "That's what I should do. Sukuna Raimo, you are not going to just defeat me. I will not die." This is where, well, we go into a time skip of mostly Sukuna beating the shit out of mostly, as though, what's it called? Almost all the faction leaders, even what's it called? Mostly, Surzek had to appear. Eren from mostly Ria's Barrage and mostly her boyfriend's husband, whatever, and a lot of other people from the DxD kind of group, like mostly Ria's Barrage, Sona's Barrage, Sanji, and like other people, even Volley, whatever. And this is where, well, other people kind of showed up, like Sir Orcus, but he still kind of almost lost. This is where, well, he lost the right arm, but luckily Phoenix Tears had managing to heal him, but not the point. Now, right now, who's actually fighting against what's it called? Mostly Sukuna is none other than Riser Phoenix, and Riser Phoenix says, damn it, this guy's so much stronger, he keeps cutting me into a million pieces. If it wasn't for my Phoenix regeneration, I would have died in an instant. Now, Riser has actually become much more stronger and hates mostly Rias' Barrage, and also kind of hates his sister a little bit, but not much, because his sister did get corrupted. Dude, well, not his sister actually, mostly, Riser's sister managed to kind of grab her away from mostly Ria's Barrage and from mostly Sanji, because Riser wanted to burn Sanji to a million pieces from ever trying to touch his sister. Of course, well, mostly Riser would have definitely burned what's it called, Sanji, but mostly was stopped by the Devil King, but not the point. But yeah, this is where, well, mostly Raffle is fine. She never did cheat on Issei, but yeah, and this one, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Riser says, damn it. This is where, well, Raffle wants to cry out for her older brother and say that he can do it. And this is where, well, Riser says, yeah, I wish I could do it. Damn it, I wish Issei was here. He would know how to kind of defeat this person. This is where mostly Sukuna says, what's wrong there, fried chicken? What, can't defeat me? Such pathetic. No one could ever defeat me in my world, and no way that younger brother of that damn Satoru Gojo could even defeat. That's why before he can even keep talking, something literally smashed behind him, literally, or not smashed behind him, something right now appeared right in front of him, and this is where when he looks down, he sees two eye colors literally be different, but they're right now into like a star kind of shape, while his hair is glowing kind of yellowish, and this is where, well, mostly the person says, what do you mean I couldn't defeat you? Sorry, but I can't. Reverse, curse energy. Black hole, or not black hole, he says reverse curse energy, white hole, and this is where a huge white hole literally appears right now, sending so much force, smashing into mostly smashing into, well, Sukuna in an instant with so much force that he launched into multiple buildings and actually took as much damage as before. Mostly as before when he was fighting against mostly Issei. This is where Issei grins and says, oh, sorry about that. Did I knock you the fuck out? Oh, so sorry, I managed to defeat the strongest demon or whatever the fuck you are half the time. This is where, alright, Sukuna gets up and says, ugh, you little shit. I thought you were dead. How are you alive? This is where Issei's hair is killed. Mostly his goldenish white hair is actually literally floating up and falling down, floating up and falling down. This is where almost Issei grins and says, me? How did I survive? I don't know. But you're going to lose. You know that? This is where almost Issei tells Sukuna just how Gojo tells Choji Fujikoro and how he's going to lose. This is where, well, or someone. This is where, well, he tells Sukuna that he's going to lose because he didn't cut his head off. He didn't manage to cut his head off. He managed to cut all around him and also kind of cut his body into half, but that would never happen. He is much stronger than that. He's not going to die to such a pathetic creature like Sukuna. Which made Sukuna very pissed, but this is where, well, this is where Sukuna says, is that right? Well, you're going to die this time. This is now the second round of our fight, isn't that right? Issei Gojo. This is where we almost see Issei right now chuckles and says, Suka, Sukadara! This is where, well, pretty much he says, is it? Maybe. Yeah, this is where, well, he screams like a crazy psychopath. But this is where, well, mostly Sukuna rushes at mostly Issei Gojo, which mostly Riser was the only one to hear mostly Issei's first name, being Issei Gojo. And this is where Issei noticed what's it called, mostly from his corner of his eye, when he kind of just turns around to see mostly Riser. Riser sees mostly Issei's eyes completely different. This is where instead of being a goldenish brown, one of them is a goldenish brown, well, still goldenish brown color, but it's kind of more like a black star in it. This is where, well, the person right now, right, teleports from mostly Sukuna's view, appearing right in front of Sukuna and kicking him, and this is where he appears back towards mostly Riser, grabbing him from the collar and says, "You, buddy, you need to get the hell out of here, or you want to die or something. I know you have your Phoenix healing powers, but that won't be enough to fight against Rajuma Sukuma. He would be easily be able to somehow destroy regeneration. Now, other than that, fuck off." This is where, well, Issei throws fucking, literally, he just throws Riser out of the way. Whee! But yeah, he just eats him, but not the point. This is where, well, mostly Riser is launched up straight towards mostly the others, mostly where they're at. Right now, they're pretty far from mostly the battle between Sukuna and Riser. That's why they're pretty far. But this is where, well, they see Riser flying towards them. Especially, well, a red hair king. Yeah, literally a red hair king. Not Rias, but Surzex. This is where Riser smashes into Surzex, and Surzex says, ow. What the hell, Riser? Riser says, "I'm so sorry, my lord. I'm so sorry. How do I explain this? The person with blonde, goldenish hair, kind of white a little bit, the one that's right now fighting against Rajuma Sukuna again, and the one that should have been dead, came back to life." This is where Asa says, "That guy? Huh. I think he was the one fighting against Sukuna a while ago. That's his name." Mostly they found out Sukuna's name because Sukuna just said his name, Sukuna Raimo. But yeah, the other person they questioned, but Sukuna didn't give them a straight answer. He just says that he's just a bastard of a family, blah, 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 blah. The man is weak and blah, 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 whatever. But this is where, well, mostly Riser says, "Yeah, that guy. His name is, well, his name is Gojo. That's his last name." This is where, well, and you have no other first name? Last name is Gojo, but first name is, I don't think it, Riser knows his first name. He's just a little shocked to believe Issei is back. Now, of course, Issei is back and much more stronger than ever. He doesn't have the Red Dragon boosted gear, but he's actually right now kicking the shit out of almost Sukuna. He's giving him that fucking, how should I say, Miguel treatment, like how Gojo gave fucking Miguel that treatment of like he hates. No, I'm just kidding. But pretty much, you know, that treatment where he started giving him that fucking combo. Yeah, that's basically what Issei is doing. He's giving fucking Sukuna that combo. Left, right, up, down, punch, right. Da, 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 da. But yeah. And also a slap or a kick in the face. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna was smashed into a building. He's right now screaming at rage and growling at Issei. But this is where Issei doesn't seem to really care too much. This is where, well, Issei kind of grins, having a cocky grin on his face. But this is where it's not too much, but it is, because he does have also God complex. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna says, "You bastard! I'm going to make sure I kill you this time. I'll kill you this time. And I'll make sure you stay under 6 feet under the whole fucking ground." This is where, well, he growls at Issei. Issei right now smirks in his face, like he has a huge ass grin on his face, and looks at mostly Sukuna, and this is where, well, mostly Issei says, "Huh, that's quite impossible for you to do. You're too pathetic and weak, in my opinion." This is where, well, mostly Sukuna growls at Issei, but this is where he realized one thing. His curse energy, it's a little bit different from normal curse energy. Instead of being blue or red, it's black and white. That means that Issei has the purest type of curse energy right now. Literally one being light and one being literally darkness. This is where, well, Sukuna was shocked to ever believe that mostly this rat could actually be able to kind of, well, summon out the purest curse energy. He only knows a couple of people that will be able to do that, but not many. Only one person, the god of creation, and mostly the true god of, well, curse energy, but not the point in their world. But this is where, well, he was shocked to believe that, because mostly, if you haven't realized this, but Sukuna did say that he was the fallen one. I'm only guessing that mostly in the theory that I'm just thinking, I'm just going random off theory, that mostly there is a god that is not Tetsu or whatever the hell the guy's name was again, but another god that was actually, I mean, there is angels, someone in the story, but yeah, or someone possessing someone to be an angel, but not the point. So I'm just guessing there's literally a god and Satan in that place, or mostly Sukuna probably a Satan, but not the point. But this is where, well, he's just shocked to believe Issei has the purest type of curse energy. This is where, well, mostly Issei is smiling with such a cocky grin, and this is where, well, Issei then smiles at him and looks at him and says, "So, what are you gonna do next, Raijima Sukuna?" This is where, well, Sukuna growls at Issei and says, "I'm gonna kill you, what do you think?" This is where Issei says, "You can try, but you're weak." This is where, well, Sukuna growls and says, "I'll show you weak." He summons out that one kind of, like, statue or whatever that mostly he can use Megami's body for, but yeah. This is where, well, this is where Sukuna then says, "How about this? Malevolent Shrine." This is where, well, he says, "Domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine." This is where Issei grins after seeing this. This is where, well, he sees mostly that he's trapped in the Malevolent Shrine, but instead of being cut into a million pieces, Issei chuckles, and this is where, well, Sukuna was confused. He was about to send the statue to try to beat the shit out of Issei and actually grab him so he can be able to be cut into a million pieces, until Issei then kind of puts both of his hands together, similar to the same of, like, if Issei is about to, like, do a domain expansion similar to the same of Megami's, but instead of being, like, together, this is where, well, he then puts both of his fingers, the index and middle finger together, like, crossed himself together, and this is where he put them together, and this is where, well, he then says, "Domain expansion. Galaxy Overdrive." This is where, well, mostly Sukuna was confused because he knew that he did the domain expansion faster than mostly Issei's. But this is where something happens. His own domain expansion literally shatters. This is where what he sees outside of the domain expansion is not the domain expansion, but something else. Something much more terrifying than he ever expected. Right now the sky changed. The sky was somewhere in the middle of the afternoon, and of course it was getting dark, but this is where, well, it hasn't gotten that dark before, because everything in the sky literally turned black in an instant, instead of being purple or blue or whatever. But this is where stars started appearing all over the sky. This is where, well, mostly making Sukuna confused. Is this that brat's domain expansion? How? This is where, well, before he looks towards mostly Issei, this is where Issei grins and says, "You are now my domain expansion. Peek out from my sight." All the stars up in the sky started glowing. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna was confused until multiple just shooting stars smashed into this, well, mostly what's it called? Sukuna. Sukuna was shocked. This is where, well, he was shot down in an instant. He was coughing up blood and falling down to the ground. This is where, oh, he was like, "What? Ow." This is where, well, mostly Sukuna tries to get up and cough up blood, and this is where, well, he is just shocked. He can heal, of course, with reverse curse energy, but there are so much wounds around his body. It's like Malevolent Shrine, but they're holes mostly around his body. Burnt holes somewhat. This is where, well, he looks at Issei, and Issei was gone. Issei appeared right in front of, well, Sukuna, sending a powerful fucking jawbreaker fist up to mostly Sukuna's chin. Right now, shattering it and launching his shit up. But yeah. But we go back into Riser. His first name is Issei. This is where, well, he says kind of towards mostly Sursex, and Sursex widened his eyes. Even Azo and even Michael, they hear it. They were shocked. Issei Gojo. This is where, well, they have not heard that first name in a long time. This is where, well, they were shocked to believe ever seeing that name or seeing Issei ever again. But this is where, well, they're shocked to believe that's probably Issei, the same boy that managed to save the whole world from Triseca and also the Chaos Brigade. But this is where, well, mostly someone like Ria's widened her eyes. She never expected Issei to look much more better, but at the same time look like he came back from the fucking dead and beating the shit out of some dude named Sukuna, who literally they think that he's a complete monster and at the same level as mostly Triseca, which are not entirely wrong because mostly Sukuna will be at the same level, but Issei this time will be much more at the higher level than mostly Sukuna or mostly Triseca. This is where, well, Issei is laughing, seeing mostly Sukuna get his ass kicked, while mostly Issei is literally standing on a star platform. This is where, well, Issei says, "So, how was a little fun showtime?" This is where, well, mostly the stars disappeared and it became back into the afternoon. This is where, well, mostly Sukuna say, "How did he do something like that? That's not domain expansion." Nope, that is really not domain expansion. But I don't need to tell you anything, because you're nothing but a weakling. This is where, well, he then says, what's it called? This is where it says here, my world. This is where almost see Sukuna right now just has multiple tick marks around and says, I'm gonna kill you this time. This is where Issei says, you can try, but you're still so weak to me. This is where both of them looked at each other with narrow eyes. And this is where we'll see Sukuna says, you're dead. Issei says, bring it, weakling. This is where both of them just gets ready to fight each other. But this is where and someone right now rushes, or mostly someone rushes to someone, but this is where, everyone was trying to see the battle, but this is where, they see literally just flashes between mostly Gojo, Issei versus mostly, Sukuna, or mostly Raijima, Sukuna, but yeah. This is where everyone is seeing the battle between Issei Hyoto, or mostly Issei Gojo, and, mostly the last name, versus mostly, Raijima Sukuna, who was literally a strong fucker, but yeah. This is where everyone is seeing the battle, and this is where, they're shocked because they can barely track most of the movements. Those who can use Seiju energy can actually somewhat see Issei's power. It's quite powerful. Mostly the aura, but yeah. But this is where, before I was caught, anyone can keep track with mostly both Sukuna and Issei. This is actually where I'm gonna leave it off for part 1 of this what if. Yes, I'm gonna leave it off here for part 1. I know what you're all thinking. You fucker. No, don't leave it. Continue. But I'm going to continue on part 2 for it. But other than that, bye, see you, and yeah. Yeah, I'm going to leave you in the cliffhanger. Right now, I'm feeling a little bit sick. So, yeah, other than that, bye, see you, yeah. I'm going to have to make this short, kind of.